The Senate's leadership is expected to hold a high-level meeting with officials from the International Monetary Fund to discuss the country's economic outlook and ongoing reform programs under the administration of Bwala Tinubu. Hi. Welcome to What's Happening. These are our top 10 stories countdown today. At number 10, 4 of 6 members of a U.S. military refueling aircraft crew have been confirmed dead after it crashed in western Iraq. U.S. Central Command says rescue efforts continue after the loss of the KC-135, it said, having earlier said neither hostile nor friendly fire were involved in the downing of the aircraft. The tanker had been involved in ongoing U.S. operations against Iran and was one of 2 aircraft involved in the incident. The second landed safely. The Boeing-manufactured aircraft are capable of refueling planes mid-air and typically play a major role in U.S. military operations. They were used extensively in the First Gulf War to extend the range of fighter jets and bombers. At number 9, Chelsea captain Reece James has committed his long-term future to the club, signing a contract that will keep him at Stamford Bridge until 2032. A lifelong Chelsea supporter, James joined the club's academy at just 6 years old and has become one of the club's most influential figures. Having progressed through the Cobham Academy, James made his under-18 debut while still a schoolboy and was a key figure in the team's treble-winning season. He signed his first professional contract in March 2017 and quickly made an impact in Chelsea's youth teams, finishing as Academy Player of the Season and captaining a Youth Cup winning side. At number 8, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency has issued a public health advisory warning that several northern states face a heightened risk of cerebrospinal meningitis as dry season conditions intensify across parts of Nigeria. In a notice posted on its X handle, the agency explained that the disease is a serious infection that affects the protective membranes covering the brain and spinal cord and is commonly caused by the bacterium Neisseria meningitis. NIMET also explained that CSM spreads through respiratory droplets, particularly in crowded or poorly ventilated environments. At number 7, the National Orientation Agency has said Nigerians must fulfill their tax obligations before demanding accountability from government, stressing that tax compliance gives citizens the moral and legal standing to question how public resources are used. A program officer at the National Orientation Agency, Mrs. Abiodun Olayeni Ali, stated this on Thursday during an interactive session at the maiden edition of Civic Talks organized by the Center for Inclusive Social Development in Abuja. According to her, citizens who do not contribute to government revenue through taxes cannot legitimately demand answers from public officials. At number 6, Justice Peter Lifu of the Federal High Court Abuja has fixed April 1st for the fresh arraignment of the former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, in the 1.3 billion naira corruption charges brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Lamido is to be arraigned alongside his 2 sons, Aminu and Mustafa Lamido, who allegedly committed the fraud with their father through a fictitious contract award. Justice Lifu fixed the new date following the absence of the former governor and his sons in court to take their plea. At number 5, former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi on Friday dismissed allegations by President Bola Tinubu's special advisor on policy communication, Daniel Bwala, that he sought to recruit him into his 2023 presidential election campaign. Obi said the accusation did not merit a response, insisting he had no dealings with Bwala and would not engage in what he described as transactional politics. The former Anambra State governor made the clarification in a statement issued in Abuja by his media aide, Ibrahim Omar, amid growing exchanges between political actors over events surrounding the 2023 general election. At number 4, energy, fintech, and telecommunications companies generate the highest number of consumer complaints in Nigeria. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has declared. The agency's executive vice chairman, Tunji Bello, made this known on Thursday while briefing State House correspondents at the Asu Rock Presidential Villa, Abuja. Bello said the commission had received thousands of complaints from Nigerians across these sectors and had recovered over 20 billion naira for consumers as of March 2026. According to him, the commission resolved more than 9,000 complaints and recovered offered over 10 billion naira for consumers between March and August 2025 alone. At number 3, Senator representing Cross River South Senatorial District, Senator Asukwo Ekpenyong, has facilitated a 100,000 grant disbursement to 400 constituents to support small businesses and improve productivity. The empowerment program, organized in collaboration with the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, was held on Thursday in Calabar, where each beneficiary received a grant of 100,000 naira. Speaking during the event, Senator Ekpenyong said the initiative forms part of his continuous efforts to support entrepreneurs, women, and youth across the senatorial district. At number 2, the federal government has approved 2 billion naira each as take-off grants for the Bwala Tinubu Federal Polytechnic in Abuja and the Federal University of Science and Technology Ekpe in Ekpe, Lagos State. As part of efforts to support their early operations, the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, disclosed this on Thursday during the inauguration of key officials appointed to lead the two institutions, according to Arise News. At number 1, the Senate leadership is expected to hold a high-level meeting with officials from the International Monetary Fund to discuss the country's economic outlook and ongoing reform programs under the administration of Bwala Tinubu. The engagement forms part of IMF's Article 4 consultation with Nigeria, a routine assessment of the country's economic policies and financial stability. The planned interaction is expected to give lawmakers deeper insight into the government's economic management framework and explore the potential support the global financial institution could provide for the federal government's sweeping economic reforms. That's all for today. See you next time on What's Happening.